Okay, you guys are going to start your project by creating it on Desmos. And so what you're going to do is go to Desmos, just a regular Desmos graphing calculator. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure that you sign in. So just sign in with Google. So you should see your name up in this right-hand corner. And then what you want is you don't want it to be called Untitled Graph because you want to be able to find it quickly. So you can call it selfie or self-portrait, since that's what our project is about. And so now you see that. Now, notice it said saved because Desmos does not save automatically like Google Docs or Slides. So we are going to have to pay attention to that. And we're going to have to make sure that we keep saving often. Otherwise, you might end up losing portions of your project. So we're going to make sure that we pay attention to that. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to insert your image. So this is just the setup today. And so when you add in Desmos, so here at this plus sign, notice there's a lot of different things that you can add, but you can add an image. And that can be from anything on your drive. So I don't have any pictures on here. So I'm going to take a second to go get a picture. And then I'll show you guys how you can bring it in. For you, you can take a selfie with your phone and then send it to or save it in Drive. And then that's where you can find it on your device. Okay, so now I have this picture in here. So let's say this is my self-portrait. So I insert the picture and you see that it takes up a spot in Desmos and you can actually click it just like you can the equations and move the picture on and off. You can move it around on the screen so it's centered at different places if you want. You can make it bigger or smaller. And so that's going to be the basis for your background. The other part of the setup I want you guys to have done is your folders. So notice you can also add folders in the button. Okay. And here we want to follow the project directions. If you look on Canvas at what is expected in the project, okay, you'll see that overall it's expected to have 50 to 100 equations. I know that seems like a lot, but you're using very small portions of them. So that's why it will take a lot because it'll make it look more lifelike. There's also examples on the project directions if you want to look at that, and information about submission. But right now we're going to focus on setup. So these 50 to 100 equations, you need to have 5 in each category, and it lists the categories in the directions. And those are the folder types. So our folder type, we're going to just type the name right here. So we added a folder, and one folder is going to be linear. So all of your linear functions are going to go in there. You need to have at least 5 in that folder. Okay. We're going to add another folder. Now see how they have this line here? That means that's stuff in the folder and you can kind of expand or condense the folder. So when you type equations, you'll want to drag them so they're connected to that line. But for today, we're just going to keep adding folders. So another folder is quadratic. And you're going to continue to do this for cubic, square root, cube root, log, and exponential. You're also going to have a circle ellipse folder that I'm going to help you with when I'm back, and an other folder in case you decide to do something else. Okay, so everything's added in now, but mine's kind of like a hot mess if you look at this. So I'm going to put them in the order that I want. So you can just kind of drag on Desmos. I'm condensing all the folders here. And so I'm going to do linear, quadratic. Here's my cubic. I'm going to drag it down here. And then I'm just going to rearrange them all in the order that I want. Square root, cube root, exponential, log, circles and ellipses, and other. Okay, the other is the only folder that's optional, meaning you're required to have all these other folders that you see here: linear, quadratic, cubic, square root, cube root, exponential, log, circles, and ellipses. You'll have 5 equations in each of those, but that will still only be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and you need 50 to 100 for your project. And then what you'll do is you'll type things in, you'll kind of decide where you want them on the graph, much like the Match My Graphs that you guys did. And I'll give you some pointers on how to do that. And then you'll make them piecewise, so you're just using a small piece of the function. Now, something important about this, we want to click the Save button here. Okay. See how it says saving and saved? If that green Save button is on and green, that means that you have some unsaved changes and you want to save it. Unless you're feeling really gung-ho and like you know how to do this, we're going to leave it just like this until we talk about circle and ellipse equations and then start putting stuff in. But today you have to have this set up. I'll be checking it tomorrow. And then every day we'll have a checkpoint, a certain amount that you're supposed to complete while we're working on it in class.